there is a quiet guilt that hits when you check the time late at night. You promised yourself you would sleep early, just for tonight, just this once. Then you look at the screen and realize it is already far past midnight. Your alarm is set for the same painful hour tomorrow morning, and still, you do not put the phone down or turn the light off. You know you will regret it, yet your body refuses to cooperate. People joke that you are addicted to your phone or lack discipline. They say just go to bed earlier, as if it were that simple. But if it were easy, you would not be awake right now watching this. Psychology suggests staying up late is not always a bad habit. For many people, it reflects how their brain and emotions truly work. And once you understand why, the guilt begins to make more sense. 1. Night owls and a shifted internal clock. Some people naturally feel more awake and alert later in the day. Their internal clock is shifted later compared to what society expects. They do not feel sleepy early, even when they genuinely try. Their focus and energy often peak in the late afternoon or evening. While others are winding down, their brain is just starting to feel clear. This pattern is known in psychology as an evening chronotype. It is biological, not a failure of willpower or self-control. You are not choosing to stay awake just to rebel against sleep. Your body is following a rhythm that developed naturally over time. This is why mornings feel heavy while nights feel strangely alive. Understanding this removes some of the shame around staying up late. Your brain is not broken. It is simply running on a different schedule. 2. Why night feels more alive than daytime. During the day, your attention is constantly pulled in different directions. Messages arrive, tasks pile up, and expectations come from every side. You spend hours responding, adjusting, and meeting other people's needs. Noise, pressure, and interruptions leave very little space for yourself. By the time evening arrives, your mind feels stretched thin. Then the night begins, and something shifts inside you. Notifications slow down, and the world becomes quieter. No one is asking questions or expecting quick replies. Your nervous system finally feels less guarded and less reactive. This quiet creates a sense of relief you did not feel all day. For the first time, your thoughts can move at their own pace. That is why night does not feel like extra time. It feels like the first real time that belongs to you. 3. Night as the only personal time. For many late sleepers, night is not about entertainment or distraction. It feels like the only part of the day that truly belongs to them. There are no roles to perform and no expectations to manage. You do not need to answer anyone or explain yourself to anyone. You can think freely without being interrupted or corrected. Your mind finally has space to process the day quietly. This is when ideas surface and emotions catch up. Creativity feels easier and thoughts feel more connected. You may write, draw, play games, or simply scroll in peace. Each extra minute feels precious because it is uncontested time. Going to sleep means giving that time back to the world. And that loss often feels worse than being tired tomorrow. 4. Creativity and deep focus after midnight. Late night quiet makes it easier for your mind to sink into deep focus. There are fewer interruptions competing for your attention and emotional energy. Your thoughts feel clearer without constant noise pulling them apart. This is when creativity often appears without force or pressure. Writing flows more easily and ideas connect without effort. You feel absorbed instead of rushed or watched. Time passes quickly because your brain is fully engaged. This is why you tell yourself just one more episode or scroll. You are not chasing stimulation. You are protecting a rare mental state. Sleep feels like an interruption to something finally working. So you stay awake, stretching the moment as long as possible. Not because you hate sleep, but because focus feels fragile. 5. Revenge bedtime procrastination. Sometimes staying up late is not about energy or creativity at all. It is about reclaiming control after a day that felt owned by others. Work, school, family, and obligations consumed every usable hour you had. By night, you feel an urge to take something back for yourself. Sleep becomes the thing you sacrifice to regain personal freedom. Psychologists call this pattern revenge bedtime procrastination. You stay awake on purpose, even knowing tomorrow will feel harder. The idea of going straight from duties to sleep feels unbearable. You need time that feels chosen, not scheduled or demanded. So you scroll, watch, or play, stretching the night quietly. It is not rebellion against sleep. It is resistance against losing yourself. And that choice makes emotional sense, even when it costs you rest. 6. The psychological cost of always staying up late. Staying up late can slowly create a mismatch between your body and daily responsibilities. Mornings feel foggy, heavy, and rushed no matter how much you promise change. Your sleep debt builds quietly while your mind feels increasingly sensitive. Late at night, overthinking often grows louder instead of calmer. Small worries feel bigger when your body is exhausted and defenses are low. This constant shift between night clarity and daytime fatigue creates emotional tension. Psychologists call this experience social jet lag. Your internal clock and social schedule never fully align. Over time, mood can drop and anxiety can rise without obvious reasons. You may feel out of sync with people who function easily in mornings. The night gives relief, but the next day collects the cost, and the cycle becomes harder to break with each repetition. 7. The escape loop. The more exhausted you feel during the day, the more valuable the night becomes. Night slowly turns into a private refuge where pressure finally stops chasing you. You begin to rely on late hours to recover emotionally and mentally. But the longer you stay awake, the harder the next day becomes. That exhaustion then makes daytime feel even more overwhelming and crowded, so the night feels even more necessary than before. This creates a quiet loop that is difficult to recognize from inside. Night protects you, but it also deepens the imbalance you are escaping. You are not weak for falling into this pattern. Your mind is trying to survive with the tools it has available. The problem is not the need for escape. The problem is having only one place where escape feels possible. 8. Biology meets psychology. Part of staying up late comes from how your body is naturally wired. Your brain releases alertness later and delays the feeling of true sleepiness. But biology is only part of the story. Psychology plays a role through your need for quiet and emotional safety. Night offers control, silence, and space to process feelings privately. It becomes the only time you feel unobserved and undemanded. This does not mean something is wrong with you. It means your system found a time where it finally feels regulated. The habit protects your sanity in the short term, but when pushed too far, it slowly drains your body and mood. Understanding both sides helps you stop fighting yourself blindly. You are not broken, you are responding to unmet needs. If you always stay up late, you are not lazy or irresponsible. You are someone whose mind comes alive when the world goes quiet. Your brain learned to carve out freedom in a crowded and demanding life. That makes sense, even if it costs you rest sometimes. This is not about forcing yourself into a morning routine that feels wrong. It is about understanding why bedtime feels like a loss instead of relief. Maybe you need more boundaries during the day. Maybe you need small moments of rest before midnight arrives. Or maybe you need to stop shaming yourself for a late-wired brain. You are not alone in this pattern. And once you understand it, you can work with it more gently.